Okay, I'm at another estate sale, and this one, I don't exactly know what I'm looking for, but there's some vintage toys and some vintage Halloween. I'm really excited about the vintage Halloween. There's a lot of really nice vintage clothes. So I don't exactly know what I'm gonna find, but I have a feeling I'm gonna find something good. And if I don't, that's okay. That's okay. Maybe we'll just get to like look at some really cool vintage stuff. So let's head in there and see what we can find. So as I approached this small but modest home, I had no idea what was going to be in store for me. The estate sale photos looked no different from any other estate sale I had been to, but as I approached the porch, I heard a lady exiting say, and as I walked inside, I started to see wall-to-wall inventory, and I knew that there was going to be a lot to look at. I don't know why I was so intrigued by this teeny tiny little potato sack. Only 75 cents. So these were just little dollhouse knickknacks and little small dolls for a dollhouse. Completely out of my wheelhouse, but obviously these are worth some money since a single doll was priced at $16 and then a set next to it was $26. There was lots of costume jewelry that was at the front where everybody was checking out. There was some really cute pieces, but for $4 a piece, I would only be shopping for myself. I did see some pretty cool knives, but they were pretty pricey. Like this one was $60, and there were some other ones in the $40 or $50 price range. And this fun little owl caught my eye. And I'm on a turquoise kick for sure, so I immediately noticed that. I was kind of doing a little check just to see if there was anything in there that was a little bit more expensive than just costume jewelry. And I saw this box that had a pearl necklace in it, and they were asking $35. So at that price, there's not really a lot of room for resale. Everything was 25% off today, and I was hearing them do bundle deals at checkout, but I still can't really imagine being able to make that kind of money off of a small pearl necklace. But it's also kind of out of my wheelhouse, so let me know in the comments if I'm totally wrong about that. Over here, I found a cool Santa Claus on a motorcycle. And some of those, I forget what they're called. The eggs, the decorative eggs, I forget what they're called. Let me know, because I can't remember at the moment. I know that they can be worth a lot of money, but they were already priced pretty expensively. A lot of these little knickknacks were pretty expensive. And as we'll soon find out as I make my way through this estate sale, everything that was of value was inside the house, because everything that was outside was way cheaper, and there was a lot of it, but we'll get there in a little bit. There was numerous different perfumes that were about $6 each. I did do a couple of price comp searches on some of those perfumes because I know that my dad has found some pretty expensive colognes and perfumes at estate sales and yard sales in the past. But unfortunately, all of the ones that I was looking up were only about $8 to $10 on eBay. So here's where I found a few vintage toy and Halloween items. Unfortunately, they were pretty pricey, so I would only really be looking to buy for my own personal use, and there wasn't really anything there that really spoke to me. So I just started scanning the table to see if there was possibly anything of interest. But I'm not gonna lie, the prices were kind of scaring me off a little bit. There was a coat rack right inside the door, and I remember seeing some of these in the photos for the estate sale listing. This fur coat was $150, a little out of my price range. Same thing with all of these leather jackets. They were in really beautiful shape, but they were anywhere from $45 to $75, and that is a bit out of my price range for resale. If I'm gonna drop that kind of money on inventory, I have to make big bucks in order to make it worth my time, because that's a lot of money tied up while it's waiting to sell. The bathroom was so full, I could barely stand in there. Tons of towels, and she definitely had a color theme, that's for sure. Lots of pinks and blushes and beiges. The wallpaper in this room was pretty wild. It was very Raggedy Ann and Andy to me. This closet was completely jam-packed full of throw blankets and throw pillows, all different color patterns and designs. It really made me wonder how she was decorating with those, or if they were just hiding away in a closet. Oh, that wallpaper was starting to make my head hurt. Just a little bit, not gonna lie. Those contrasting lines, man, they were getting my eyeballs. I thought that the set of Raggedy Ann and Andy pillows were pretty cool, but they were $35 for the set. Again, way out of my price range. I have no idea why I was so intrigued with these little figurines. So it looked like they were handmade alpacas that were stitched together and had real alpaca hair sewn onto it. They were so soft, and the tag said that these came from Peru. They were priced at $6 a piece, and I was really thinking long and hard about buying at least one of them because I thought that they were so unique. I was not prepared for this room when I walked in. This doll was so old. It looked like it was made out of wood or something. I don't know. I am no expert in dolls, but it seemed like it was made out of wood. And if I had to take a shot in the dark, I would say lead paint. Because it was flaking off and her leg was broken, poor thing, and her face was so cracked. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little eerie looking at this doll, but it was also kind of fascinating to think about everything that doll had been through over the years, how many little girls had played with it, and what those little doll eyes had seen. And these shelves were just packed full of dolls. Full-size dolls, small dolls, little figurines. There was even some Santa Claus candlesticks. And the thing that made looking at all of this stuff really difficult for me, beyond the sheer amount of items that there was to look at, it seemed like there would be some order to things and some categories of shelves, but then I would just get confused all over again. She kept looking at me. Her eyes would close and then they'd open back up again, like she was staring into my soul. And then this little guy, what kind of dog is he? I don't know. He was kind of cool though. Little expensive, but he was cool. There's another Santa Claus on a motorcycle. Even the closet was full of knickknacks. they had put a bunch of shelving in the closet and had a whole bunch of baskets just filled to the brim with little figurines and tchotchkes. And they did have a lot of the flats marked with like $1 each or 50 cents each, but I just kept thinking to myself, how on earth are they going to remember which one of these figurines was $1 and which one was 50 cents? There was a Singer sewing machine that was $120, and I'm not well versed enough to know whether or not that was a really good deal. I thought this Presto hot dog cooker was pretty cool, but they wanted $12 for it. Comps on eBay were around the $30 to $40 price range, and those looked like they were in a lot better shape than this one here. The more and more I looked at stuff in the kitchen, I was becoming increasingly irritated, I guess the word would be, at the prices on a lot of these items. They were so expensive. Everything was just way too expensive for resale. But I have to admit, it was very cool being able to see all of this stuff. The lady that lived here really did have a lot of things. And as I'm looking at everything that's even just in this kitchen, I'm not even talking about the other bedrooms or anything, just the sheer amount of stuff that was in this kitchen, I couldn't help but think to myself, where was all of this stuff before? Was it all in a storage unit? Or did she really just have all of this stuff inside of this tiny house all the time? Where did she put it all? I thought that this vase was absolutely gorgeous, and I could just imagine it in my kitchen with some fresh cut flowers, but $35 was just way too much. And I know from doing previous price comp searches at other estate sales that patterns of something like autumn leaves on China is only between about $50 and $100 on eBay, depending on the brand, of course, but the fact that they wanted $60 for this set made me think it's not even worth my time, especially with how breakable it is. And then I was so frustrated with all of these used appliances. I couldn't believe the prices that was being asked on these. I had seen photos for this New Wave Pro Plus in the estate sale listing, and I had looked it up on eBay, and they were anywhere from $90 to $150 on eBay in used condition. And I was flabbergasted to see that it was priced at $110. It was not even in that good of shape. So not only was I frustrated as a buyer, I was also really frustrated as a seller, because I'm thinking to myself, come on guys, you probably could have sold this if you would have priced it a little bit better than that. There was some pretty cool stuff over here in this corner. Lots of really neat vintage decorative things, like that old school telephone. I thought that was really neat, and I love a good oil lamp. And I really loved the color of this Smith Corona typewriter. But again, they wanted $65 for it. I would be lucky if I could even make $30 or $40 off of that if I sold it online. I'm just now noticing that there was a ham radio over there on the right side. I wish I would have looked a little bit closer at that. Those are kind of cool. and a Sears side mount movie light. I was low-key thinking about that just for my personal rec room because we're movie lovers, and I thought that that would be a cool addition to decorate the room with. Even their DVDs were $3. I just kind of chuckled at myself about that because we have this huge book and movie warehouse around here where you can buy all of the DVDs that they have for around $1.25. So $3 for a DVD is a little much, in my opinion. I remember my mother had one of those washboards that she had as decoration when I was a little girl. I can't believe they want $25 for it though. Oh my goodness. As I was about to find out, as soon as I ventured outside, there was more items than I could have ever imagined. And this is where all of the inexpensive stuff was. Everything that these people didn't really see much value in, they just put it in the backyard and let shoppers just look at everything all spread out. When I first walked in, I had no idea the amount of stuff that was not only going to be in the house, but in the backyard as well. These tubs were basically just full of wheat, straw, and other kinds of filler for decorating things. And I couldn't really figure out if the price was for the entire bin or if it was per bundle inside. But I wasn't really interested in it, so I wasn't gonna ask. Inside this little shed, there was numerous items that looked like they had not been touched in years. There was some more bins that had a lot more decorative, like hay and straw and things. And there was just cobwebs and bugs and spiders everywhere. This was definitely stuff that had been stored away and had been untouched for a really, really long time. And it was getting pretty hot in there with no air movement, so I decided to leave pretty quickly. $8 for an old rake. Old used jars, some baskets. Most things on these tables were $2 and under, although they weren't individually priced. They were just kind of sitting in bins that had prices on the outside of the bin, or sitting in places on a table where there was just kind of a price marker on the table. And again, I just kept thinking to myself, if I do pick things, how are they going to know exactly where I got it from? And then I found the first thing of the day that I wanted to buy. It was this little guy here. I was drawn to him, and he was in a 75-cent bin, and he's standing on a scale, and it says on the front of this little statue, "I love you just the way you are." I don't know, I was drawn to that little guy. I couldn't decide if I wanted to keep him and put him on a shelf in my rec room or if I was going to go ahead and sell him. But I figured after the 25% discount, he'd be around 50 cents, so why not grab him? And at that point, I just started scanning this table, because if I found that little guy in here, maybe there's something else that would grab my attention. And then I noticed this Sharp calculator. It was an old school Sharp calculator that prints a receipt. You know, you can do your math and you can hit print or whatever, and it'll print like a little digital receipt of whatever calculations you did. It was in a dollar bin, and I went ahead and pulled it out because I was going to look up price comps on it. And I saw this little baby doll. I thought she was a little cute. But I walked away with only the calculator because the calculator was worth somewhere between $19 and $30 on eBay. And then I saw this little Tupperware set. My customers on Facebook really like this kind of stuff. They're really nice. It was a 3-piece set and they had date markers on the lids. I had no idea how much it was, but I figured I'd go ahead and pick it up anyway because something like that I can sell for $6 or $7 on my page. There was a lot of clothes, but I was not looking through all of them. Like this was only the tip of the iceberg for the clothes. You'll see more in a minute. And then I entered into the carport area. I didn't even correlate that there was a carport back here. And back here was more jackets, and they were a little bit more competitively priced than the ones indoors. So I thought that I would at least thumb through some jackets since the cold season is coming. It is coming. That's what I keep telling myself. But somebody needs to tell Kansas that the cold weather is coming because on this day we were shopping, it was like 94, 95 degrees. It was pretty hot. So I know that the cold weather is coming. I'm holding out hope that it will arrive like it does every single year. But there was no coats that I thought my customers would want, so I went ahead and just ventured inward further into the carport and realized that I was slowly starting to enter a garage. There was a detached garage way in the backyard. So I was just following the path of clothing in the carport back into the garage to see what was in there. I thought this Sears jacket was pretty nice, but price comps on eBay were only around $20, so I wasn't willing to pay $8 for it. As I made my way into the garage, I started noticing even more things. There were so many things, and there was really no rhyme or reason to any of it. And now, rewatching this footage, I am honestly thinking to myself, I wonder how much stuff had sold by this point, because I was there on the second or third day, and this estate sale was going on for only 4 days. So when I was there, there was either only 1 day left or 2 days left. I can't remember which. And looking at all of this now, I'm thinking to myself, wow, I thought at the time this was the first day, but it wasn't the first day. They had already had, 1 or 2 days of being open, and there was still so much stuff. So even now, watching this footage back, I find myself thinking, how much stuff has sold versus how much of the stuff is left? How much stuff was there in the opening minutes of this estate sale? If there's this much stuff now, how much stuff was there then? There was some pretty cool stuff in this garage, but it was all pretty dirty and damaged and out of my wheelhouse, so I just kept moving on. There were some board games that were pretty cool, but they were priced anywhere from $5 to $8, and some of the more vintage ones were even upwards of $20. Little too rich for my blood for board games. In the garage, I did see a lot of small Christmas items, but I didn't really see any value for the prices that they were asking. That Santa Claus in pajamas holding the teddy bear for $8 was very cute though. And there was numerous nativity scenes, but they were all $10 a piece. And then I saw this saxophone playing Santa Claus. Yeah, he was pretty cool. He was pretty cool, but he was $12. I'm pretty sure that you can buy those new in Walmart or Target pretty much every year for around $20 to $30. I loved this stainless steel mixing bowl set. The colors of the lids were the exact color theme of my kitchen. However, about half of the pieces were missing and they wanted way too much. So I passed on it. Can you guys tell that that was kind of a running theme for this estate sale? I feel like I saw a lot of really cool items and I was able to appreciate a lot of the stuff that I saw, but the prices of the items were just a really big turnoff for me, not just for resale, but for personal use as well. And then I could not believe it. As I was going through these clothes, all these clothes, you see them all? I noticed that there was more. There was more, you guys. I was in shock. I'm like, wow, there's more tables on the outside of the garage. So on the outside of the garage between the fence and the wall, there was more. So they had tables set up with just a lot more random things on them. And then the bins that were across from the tables were all empty, it looked like, but they were also for sale. But all of those bins, even though, you think, oh, reseller, I can use bins, they were anywhere from $5 to $8 a piece, which if I'm going to pay that, I'm just gonna, go buy them new. And in this 50-cent area, I saw this cute little LED jack-o'-lantern necklace, and I thought it'd be really cute for Ben since Halloween is coming up. I thought these little figurines were kind of cute, but they were marked, $3.99 or $4.99 from just a discount store, so they didn't really hold a lot of value. There was a lot of cookie sheets here, but they were all the pretty cheap aluminum, so they weren't really worth any money. Then I looked down and I saw this old school vintage quick shop cold quencher travel mug. It was this massive cup that holds 32 ounces. It kind of cracks me up now because we have cups that hold 32 ounces and they are not nearly as big as this quick shop quencher is. But it brought up some nostalgic vibes to me because I definitely remember seeing my dad with one of those when I was really, really little. And then that was my cue to go ahead and head up to checkout. I did kind of finger through the clothing just a little bit, didn't really see anything that interested me, so I made my way back through this tiny little house. And looking now, I realized I didn't even go down to the basement. I now see that guy standing at the top of the stairs, and I think in the moment I did not even realize that there was a basement. And now I'm thinking to myself, how many more items were in the basement that I didn't even get to see? And now I'm kicking myself that I didn't realize that there was more stuff to look at. And maybe those gems that I was waiting for could have been down there. So I was overcharged, but I'm not going to cause a stink about it. Most of the items that I picked were in the 75-cent baskets outside, and she charged me $4.50 for 4 items. So, I mean, I'm not going to cause a stink about it because, it was supposed to be 25% off, but it's all right because how can I prove what basket I took things out of? And that's one of the things that that makes it a little bit difficult when they do that. I have found they will have different baskets out and they'll be like 75 cents, $1, whatever. And they, like, how can they just stop people from moving them around? How can they stop people from claiming that they got it out of one basket when it actually came out of another? How are they possibly going to remember which basket they put things in? So I'm not gonna fight with them about it. But let me show you what I got. So I plan to sell this. I'm pretty sure that I can sell this set for $7. So if I sell it for $7, I've basically made my money back on all of it. But it's these really nice old school Tupperwares that have date markers on them, and it's a set of 3. So I figure I can sell those on my page for like $7 and at least get my money back. Then I got something for eBay. So this little calculator, it's one of those Sharp LC-mate, it prints the little receipt thingies. These are anywhere from $12 to $50 on eBay. I'm not exactly sure which is which and what makes the value, but I mean, I paid like $1 for it, so this is something that can easily sit on eBay while I wait for profit. This I picked up for Benjamin for Halloween. It was, and like this was in a 50-cent bin. I know I way overpaid for this, but that's okay. It's a little light up jack-o'-lantern necklace. I figured it'd be cute for Halloween for Ben. My weird stuff. You guys know I like my weird stuff. So look at this little guy. So I love you just the way you are. I don't know if I'm gonna end up keeping this or I'll list it on eBay as just like a cheap thing that I have on eBay because it's unique. I don't see a lot of those anywhere. So once again, I got incredibly overwhelmed just because there was so much stuff. But let me know, what do you think I missed? Comment down below. What did I completely overlook that was super valuable or that you thought could have had value that I should have stopped and scanned? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to check the video description. I always put a lot of information in there, including the link to my Facebook page. A lot of you guys ask how exactly I sell on Facebook. That's gonna be the easiest way for you to see in real time how I do that. Just go click on the link. I do also ship items on that page now, so you can join in on the fun and put sold in the comments if you see anything you'd like to purchase. Please remember to subscribe if you are not yet subscribed and ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post my next video. Thank you guys again so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye.